On June 25, 2026, social media feeds were flooded with footage of a massive crowd pushing against police barricades at the Kulhal border. Dozens of Nihang Sikhs stood toe-to-toe with fully geared riot police, creating a volatile standoff that paralyzed the crossing for hours. To an outside observer scrolling through these clips, the imagery suggested an organized political or religious conflict was erupting between two Indian states. The actual trigger for this standoff reveals how rapidly a local incident can spiral out of control once its original context is removed. This multi-state crisis began 9 days earlier in a parking lot. The initial disagreement took place in Karnaprayag, a quiet town built along the river in Uttarakhand's Chamoli district. It is a question of logistics, how a disagreement over a parking spot snowballs into a security lockdown involving two state governments. Each subsequent reaction to that local dispute functioned as a multiplier, pulling in more people and increasing the stakes until the situation crossed state lines. On June 16th, that parking argument in Karnaprayag deteriorated from a shouting match into a physical street fight. The danger escalated when traditional bladed weapons were drawn during the clash, leaving several people and police personnel with injuries. In the following days, Uttarakhand police investigated the incident and arrested 4 Nihang individuals based on evidence collected from the scene. Members of the Nihang community viewed the police response as a targeted injustice, claiming their fellow members had been wrongly arrested. This specific friction, a community's perception of injustice colliding with the state's use of legal force, often provides the foundation for civil unrest. Organized retaliation began in Nagarsu, where Nihang members occupied a local gurdwara and demanded the immediate release of the arrested men. The call for support reached other states. Groups from Punjab and Himachal Pradesh mobilized and traveled toward the Uttarakhand border to join the protest. Fearing the potential for a large-scale riot, the Uttarakhand government responded by locking down the state border with heavy police barricades. On June 25th, the situation reached a breaking point at the Kulhal border, where groups attempted to breach the barricades, creating the chaotic scenes seen in viral media. These viral clips stripped away the localized details of the parking dispute, transforming a town-level incident into an urgent security concern for viewers across the country. Before the standoff could turn into a full-scale riot, the physical confrontation was halted for negotiations. Senior police officers and local administrators met with Sikh community leaders directly at the border to open a dialogue. When physical force and barricades reach their limit, high-level diplomatic communication becomes the primary mechanism for ending a cycle of escalation. After hours of discussion, the Nihang groups agreed to return toward Paonta Sahib in Himachal Pradesh under police supervision. While police deployment in the region remains high, the immediate potential for border violence has subsided. The case involving the 4 arrested individuals has been moved out of the streets and into the judicial system. With the crowds dispersed, the resolution of this conflict now depends on the specific evidence presented in a courtroom rather than the momentum of a protest. Analyzing this event requires balancing different responsibilities. The police have a mandate to act when they find evidence of physical violence. At the same time, citizens in a democracy have a protected right to peacefully protest when they believe a legal action is unfair. The boundary for both sides is the rule of law, which prohibits the use of violence or the bypassing of the legal process to achieve a goal. Ultimately, the stability of the border was restored by a return to this legal framework, favoring systematic investigation over the momentum of the crowd. How do you think these situations should be managed before they reach the border? Share your thoughts below.